All right, guys, we are live. So I want to say hello to all the realtors as you guys are tuning in. Thank you for thank you for joining us for our third Interesting People series. This is Tom Holobowski from RPR. I've got Greg Carlson here and myself. So we are going to kick this off so we can respect everybody's time. Greg, what are we doing today? Who are we talking to and why?
We are talking with Tom Holobowski, who is one of the leaders in the RPR, Realtors Property Resource, which is something that the National Association of Realtors developed. And so we just thought that I know a lot of you may be using RPR. It's that little button right there on Flex when you're working. It's available to you, and AVMs and all sorts of information are there. RPR to me is something that I think it offers a lot of what like a Zillow does. And but so it'll be very interesting to see what Tom Holobowski has to say about it today, as this is his baby he's been working on since 2012. Tom's background, just give you a little brief thing here. He's married with 2 kids. He is an avid golfer with an unbelievable handicap of 5. So we might have to question how many hours he puts into this. He spent 16 years with the Prudential group before they went over to the other side with Berkshire Hathaway. And his group focuses on the top 300 brokerages in the country, of which we would be one. And he also has been in mortgage. And right out of college, he started with IBM. So he's got a really interesting background. I'm really excited to hear what he has to tell us today, what he can share with us about RPR. And so I guess, Tom, the first question here I got for you today is, what is RPR and how can it help our sales agents?
Outstanding. Well, let me begin by, first of all, thanking you for the opportunity to come in today and speak with you and your organization. So really appreciate that. I'm actually in Chicago, so not too far away from you guys. I'm in one of the western suburbs. And so it's good to be a good neighbor of you guys. And I absolutely love the state of Michigan. Love playing some great golf courses there, and just love the state as well. So kind of kicking things off, here's where I thought we would go in terms of kind of just level setting to make sure everybody has a basic understanding of what RPR is and what it does. Let me begin by just trying to answer the question, what is RPR? So in really simple terms, RPR is a national property database of real estate related information. It's comprised of nearly 300 different sources for over 170 million parcels of property all around the country. We built this thing exclusively for NAR Realtor members, and you can access it by going to this website right here, narrpr.com. Now, here's the cool part about RPR. There's no cost to use anything that we provide. Now, I know you're going to go, wait a minute, Tom, there's nothing free. And there's nothing free. I get that. But this is part of the annual dues that you pay every year. So when you write NAR, the annual check for $150, about $20 of that gets carved out and set aside to fund RPR. But there is no additional charge. We don't sell you or give you a base application and try to upsell you. Everything we talk about, everything you're going to see today, there is no additional charge. And finally, consumers don't get access to any of this. This is only available for NAR Realtor members. I always get the question, well, Tom, how much data do you guys have? And the answer is, well, we got a lot of real estate data. But the better answer is found in some of these icons here. Information over 117 million tax records, over 1.5 billion photos inside our database, and some of the numbers as well. So suffice it to say, yeah, we've got a lot of real estate information. What makes our product even more robust is when we could go out and integrate MLS data from MLSs all around the country. And believe it or not, folks, we've got to go one by one all across the US signing up these MLSs. So today, as you can see on the right-hand side, we've got about 95% of all of the MLS data in the country has now been integrated into RPR. So what does that mean to you? Well, in terms of the state of Michigan, every MLS in the state of Michigan is live in RPR. So that's great. So in essence, what that means is you'll have full access to all of the features, all of the tools, all of the data that we have to offer. And here is just a subset of some of that information. For example, you'll have access to public record data on all 170 million properties around the country. You'll have access to mortgage information, tax data, school reports, neighborhood reports, FEMA flood maps, investor tools, our CMA, and on and on and on. So yes, you're going to have access to a lot of good information in our platform. But you can't get it unless you have an account. So for those of you that don't have an account yet, I would encourage you today to go and get started by simply visiting the website, again, narrpr.com. Click on that create a new account button, and within minutes, you're going to be in. So in real simple terms, here's our motto. Our motto is we want to help you wow your clients and help you close more deals. So in essence, that's kind of a quick 2-minute pitch about what RPR is and what it's all about.
So one of the things you mentioned there, Tom, was that, it's for realtors only, which distinguishes that from like Realtor.com or Zillow or other. Why is that? Well, how did we end up in that position where it's not available to the consumers?
Well, if you're asking kind of how are we different from some of the other sites out there, and maybe even more specifically, how are we different than Zillow? There's a number of differences. First of all, RPR doesn't sell any advertising to their agents, to agents. So we're not out there trying to sell the Premier Agent program. We're not out there trying to sell zip codes or multiple zip codes, whatever it might be. That's not what this platform is all about. Secondly, it's not consumer facing. So everything that we provide is provided to you as a member. Consumers never get access to any of this data. The only way they see it is if you actually produce some reports that actually then ultimately send over to them. I think we also have a little more integrated MLS data in RPR. And so because it's taken us 10 years to go out and sign up 95% of the MLSs, I think we've got more MLS data integrated in our platform, which means it gives you the opportunity to access more of that information than perhaps you might be able to at Zillow.
Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you flick back to that slide that showed all of those things you had available?
You betcha. Right there.
This one. Wow, my head is spinning. While we're talking, let's just leave this slide here because this is really the meat and potatoes. So I think this is interesting while we chat about this.
No problem. So yeah, so again, just thinking back to some of the other things that kind of differ us from Zillow. I think one of the key ones is that we're not a brokerage that's competing against you as well. Again, I'm not here to knock Zillow at all. They're a good competitor of ours, but I think you all know that this year they announced that they were hiring agents, that they were forming a brokerage. They were hiring employee-based salaried agents that they would then use those agents to actually go out and sell all of the homes that Zillow is buying in their Zillow Offers program. So we don't have any of that. We're not hiring any agents to do anything of the sorts. And I think the last thing is just that this is a member benefit, right? This is because we're owned and operated by NAR. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of theirs. We don't charge any fees. So we don't even have a component that says we want to even try to attempt to try to charge you guys anything for this platform. So I think for those reasons, those are some of the reasons I should say as to kind of how I see ourselves different than Zillow. We're focused on trying to provide you some value, try to aggregate all this information, put it into one spot for you to be able to access and provide something that you can deliver to your clients. I think Zillow has got their hands in kind of, let's say, some other areas than we do.
So one of the things when I look at this list, and I know that, I see it now over on the right-hand side, about halfway down, listing presentation tool. I know that you've got a number of reports. You put an address in, and all of a sudden it will spin out multiple reports. And every one of these things will make you look like an expert when you go out to see the public. And so I just know that for myself, when I was still actively listing and selling real estate, the reports that were created, I thought were exceptional. And I'm assuming they're getting better, probably better today than they were back when I was using them, 6, 7, 8 years ago. So, and then I see down at the bottom, I'd see another one, mailing labels. Tell me what that, do I type in an area, a zip code, and it pumps out and I can just print off labels? What are you saying here?
So what we announced, I think it was about a year or so ago, was the opportunity to provide a mailing label feature for agents. So agents can go into an area and they can go into one of our interactive maps and they can go ahead and kind of draw an area in terms of trying to select a group or an area where they can create some mailing labels. You can actually download up to 2,000 mailing labels per month. That's the max, if you will. We haven't had anybody yet ask us if we could increase that limit, so we think the 2,000 number has been sufficient. And then from there, you can use that to create whatever it is that you might want to send out to clients within that area. That request, believe it or not, was not something that we came up with. It was something that was asked for from the feedback that we've gotten from agents as we've interacted with them from all around the country. So if you weren't aware of that feature or of that tool, I would highly encourage you to check out our blog. I'll talk about that a little bit later on today and where you can find more information about that and maybe some other features that you might not be aware of as well.
All righty. So Paul, I'm going to move on here that's my second question, which is what kind of usage does 5-Star currently have with RPR?
So it's interesting. I was curious about that myself. So I wanted to do some research before kind of coming on today. And essentially, here's what I found. It's a pretty impressive report. You have, first of all, Paul or Greg, how many agents do you have in your company today? Is it over 700?
No, it's closer to the little bit below 600, right now. And it moves every day, but I'd say just under 600.
Okay, so what we found in doing our research is we found and this is from the MLS, is that actually we aggregate this information from, we had just under 600 agents at your company that have RPR accounts with us. That's up 24% since March. That's absolutely incredible to see that kind of surge. Now, you might say, well, come on, Tom, having an account is something, right? My wife has an account at Kohl's, but we don't use it very often. So the key is, well, how many are really using it? And so that second bullet, I think, tells a true story. But take a look at the 90-day usage of RPR by your agents. 324 of them have used it in the last 90 days, or half of the agents. And that's up almost 15% since March. That, to me, is an absolutely outstanding and impressive statistic. And then lastly, of all the companies that my team works with in the country that are in the kind of that top 300 category, you guys rank in the top quartile of usage. So from a usage perspective, you guys are doing a significant job, a great job at accessing and using our information. We'd love to see that middle number go up even higher if we can. And we certainly would be here to support those efforts. But the report card on 5-Star is absolutely excellent. You guys are doing a terrific job, and we love to see these increases this year as well.
Paul, do you have any follow-up in that area?
So, yeah, I always want to break these down a little further, and I know that that's hard to do. So I'm kind of curious how you break down. I know that we have a 90-day usage, which I think is interesting. I'm definitely curious, what monthly usage would be, or how do you determine if someone's an active user or just sort of I'm clicking through because I'm curious what that even means. I'm just kind of generally curious, what are these agents doing? Where are they going when they're going in here? What's the number one feature they're using?
So we do have 30-day usage as well. So we can actually take a look at that. So we do have that metric as well. And what we define as usage is not somebody that just kind of comes in and leaves 10 seconds later. Right. It's not using anything, right? Mm-hmm. We want somebody to come in and does something that's measurable or memorable. Right. They're going in, they're searching for properties, they're running reports, they're checking out new features, they're maybe playing around with creating a property flyer, whatever it might be. Somebody that's going in, staying in there for a number of minutes, and then leaving. And so that's the way we actually measure usage, is something that's actually measurable and memorable in terms of going in. So that's why when we look at the 90-day usage numbers, that's why to us, that's a pretty impressive number.
Alrighty. So then seeing how we're using it a little bit, are other agents around the country using this for things other than us, or how are the other agents throughout the country using this?
Well, I would say that's kind of a tough question to answer because there's dozens and dozens of ways that agents are using RPR around the country. Here is just a handful of things that kind of came to my mind. And we don't have time today to get into these in a lot of detailed discussion, but CMA, I mean, if you're looking for an easy CMA, we get rave reviews about how easy it is to use our CMA. Check out the CMA and RPR. Researching properties, the ability to perhaps before you meet with clients, before you go to sit down in a listing presentation, look at their home, researching the properties so that you come in maybe knowing something about the properties that other people don't. That's going to kind of set you apart. Well, there's some of our mapping tools. Our school reports is something that's pretty kind of cool. We've got a mobile app. I don't know if you're all aware of that we've won some awards for in the industry as well. So a number of different ways that agents are actually accessing RPR. If I take a look at just maybe highlighting a couple of things and just talking real briefly, researching properties. I can't tell you how many agents have told me how they love to go in and put a property address in before they go and meet with a client, and how much information we're able to gather about that property. Here is where you begin your research activity in RPR. This is the landing page you see once you come in. The All Properties button allows you to search for public record data on every property in the country. The For Sale button allows you to grab MLS data for the MLSs that you're a member of. Leasing button allows you to grab leasing information. The Neighborhoods button, you can run neighborhood reports on any neighborhood in the country, not just those in your area. Same thing for school reports, and market activity is akin to an MLS hot sheet. So this is where one would begin kind of gathering and researching and learning more about those properties. School reports. I can't tell you how many times I meet with agents who say, clearly we know one of the biggest motivators of any buyer is obviously schools, right? Everybody's looking for schools. So the ability to grab some really good school information. We partner with a company called Niche out of California, and the school information that they provide inside RPR is outstanding. I mean, you can take a look at, they grade all schools anywhere from an A+ down to an F. You can take a look at enrollment information. You can take a look at student reviews, parental reviews, teacher reviews. You can run a report to see which homes are for sale in that school district or within a mile radius of an elementary school or middle school or high school. So the school reports provide a lot of value back to the clients. And then last thing I'll just highlight is just this valuing home improvements piece. I think this is really cool. And anytime we're doing presentations, we always get an from the audience when we kind of show this. What is this? So I'm sure many of you have been in situations before where you're going through a home and the homeowner's pointing this out and this upgrade and that upgrade. And they say something like, and here's our master bathroom. And 5 years ago, we spent $20,000 on updating our master bathroom. But I know today that's going to add $30,000 of value to our property today, right? And right away we're going, oh boy. Well, one of the cool things about RPR is this feature. What we've done is we've actually partnered with a company called Hanley Wood, which is a national aggregator of home remodeling data. And so what we've done is we've taken their home remodeling data and we've entered some of it into RPR. Specifically, we've loaded 3 dozen of the most common home improvements homeowners are making today. So an agent, if they want to get an idea as to what a home improvement might be worth, they can come into this part of RPR, pick that home improvement. Let's just say it's a minor kitchen remodel that the client told us they did. They completed it somewhere around April of 2013, and they spent about $15,000. When we go ahead and hit that in RPR, it tells us it's worth about $8,800 of value today. So if you're looking for a third-party independent opinion as to what some of these home improvement values might be worth, check this out. It might might be a really good source for you. So I think those are just a few of the ways, some of the things I wanted to highlight in terms of some of the features, some of the things that are available to agents that they're using all around the country.
All right. So next on my list here is what types of reports can this program produce in RPR for my clients?
Well, one of the things I try to tell everyone is that having all of this data, having all these features and all these tools is great. But what good is it really if you can't take the data and use it to create something of value that you can deliver to your clients? And so one of the ways that we do that is we give you the ability to produce some really, really professional looking reports in RPR. 8 different reports that you can pick and choose from. All of them are customizable, meaning that you get to pick and choose the content you want to put in those reports. And I'll show you in a little bit what that looks like. In other words, you're in control of the data. You're in control of what you want to share with your clients. They can be downloaded, printed, emailed. You can send them from a smartphone. The cover can be personalized so that it looks like it's coming from you and not from RPR, because that's what we want. And all these reports are saved in our system for 30 days. So when you come into RPR and you click on this reports tab on the right-hand side, this is the list of reports that are available. There's a property report, a seller's report. There's a property flyer that you can put together in less than 5 minutes. And I'm not kidding when I say that, less than 5 minutes, a one-sheeter that absolutely looks outstanding. Maybe you don't want a full-fledged property report, right? Maybe you just want a mini property report. Valuation workbook is a little more detailed for the appraisers. Market activity is akin to an MLS hot sheet. Here's a neighborhood report and a school report. So these are the variety of reports that you can produce for your clients in RPR. What's also cool, so I click on one of these more details buttons here. What you see are all of the sections of that report. And now you can pick and choose the content you want to put in those reports by simply unchecking or leaving checked that specific area. So for example, historical photos, do I really need to include those in a report? Maybe not. Property history, assessed values, mortgage, do I really include that? Maybe not, but it's up to you. You pick and choose and decide what you want to put in the report. Now, if you're working with an engineer client, I guarantee you a 60-page report they'll absolutely love. But man, you lay a 60-page report down in front of an empty nester and you're going to lose them right away. So you've got to be the one that picks and kind of controls that information that you put into the report. Quickly, here's an example of just one report that I put together in RPR. I know you can't read the numbers. Don't try to read it. You'll hurt your eyes. But just get a feel for what the reports look like. First of all, they come branded to your company, not to RPR. So you've got your branding that will appear at the very top of the page. They come personalized to you. As long as you set up your profile with your photo and your contact information, you're going to be prominently displayed on the cover page. And then behind that is all the RPR content. Here's just a neighborhood report where we're sharing housing statistics, people statistics. If I go to the next page, some economic information and some quality of life data as well. So a 6-page report, maybe 6 pages is too much. Maybe you're going to have an open house when those come back and we can do them in person. And you just want to have this people page, right? Tell me something about the people living in a neighborhood. Print off that page or two, put it on the stand off to the side and hand that out when people come in. So I can't tell you how positive in terms of the reviews that we've received from people with regards to our reports. They're easy to run, you control the content, and they really, really do make you look good. So I think that's about as much as I wanted to share with regards to
Tom, in that same vein, then you talked about personalizing it. Can you show us where you go to personalize the site?
I sure can. So I think that kind of leads me into something I wanted to make sure that I highlighted today. And so it's this feature called custom pages. And I'll tell you that about 2 years ago, we were approached by the 5th largest company in the country, who had about 7,000 agents at that time, and said, hey guys, agents really like you guys, love the reports that they're sending to their clients, but we're getting some feedback. And so we want to ask you a question and see if you'd consider doing something. We said, sure, we're all ears. And they said, would you guys be open-minded to letting the agents better personalize the reports? And we said, okay, keep talking. And they said, well, what if you allowed them to upload some of their own promo pieces or marketing pieces into RPR to kind of allow them to put themselves into the report? Would you consider doing that? And we said, that's a great idea. And so what we did is we came up with this feature called custom pages that allows agents to better personalize how these reports that they deliver for their clients. Each agent can upload up to 5 what I'll call PDFs or promo pieces that they can put right into our system. They can be edited, they can be deleted. You can add some, you can change some whenever you want. There's no limitation there. All of those pieces that you upload appear as defaults, so they'll have a check mark next to the boxes. Now, when you run a report, you may not want all 4 or 5 going to that client. So once again, you pick and choose the ones that you want to display. And there's no fee for this. There's no cost to do this whatsoever. Now you may say, well, promo pieces, what do you mean, Tom? Give me some examples. Here are some of the things that we see agents uploading in the country today. A Why Use Me brochure, or my biography, my awards and recognition, my client testimonials. Maybe I'm a top agent in my community and I want to share with them my rankings, whether it's in my market or my MLS, whatever it might be. We've seen some agents actually put a nice community involvement piece in there, talking about giving away back, how they give back to the United Way or whatever it might be. Some people even put in a Why Use a Realtor piece, which I think is really interesting. It doesn't say anything about them. It's just selling the benefits using a realtor. And hopefully they're going to see me as the value piece and they're going to use me as a realtor as well. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you some real life examples as to what that looks like. And so I went and grabbed a couple of reports that I think you're going to find pretty interesting. So here's a report from an agent in Las Vegas. And this is, as you can tell, a pretty nice home. This is a report that she produced in RPR, Lisa Buselli. And so if I scroll down, this is her cover page. So this is how she's personalized it, starting off. And then check out some of the content she's put in here, which is really cool. So she starts with her biography. So she has a bio about herself. And if I scroll down, there's a lot of information here. Maybe a little too much for me, but that's okay. I mean, it's professionally done, right? Well worded on some special letterhead, looks really, really professional. Her next piece, she has some testimonials. So here she grabs some comments from her clients and she puts a testimonial piece. Again, really, really well done. I think it looks very professional. Then she's got a piece here called listing or sales activity, and it lists how many homes that she has sold. Now, this says 185 homes to date. When I first saw this, I went, holy cow, this is a top producer. But as I looked more into this, this is really over her career. So what she's done is she's gone out and grabbed a snapshot of some of her production and how much listing volume, how much sold volume, what her average sales price has been, et cetera. And then she follows that up with her awards. Number 11 producer last year, number 20 producer the year before. Now, I don't know if that's in her market. I don't know if that's in her company. I don't know if that's in her MLS, but I know that that's pretty impressive to me as a consumer. So I like seeing that. And then she's got some designations here toward the bottom. And then lastly, she follows up with her marketing plan. You know, what's included, what you're going to get if you use my services, pretty standard piece, meet my team, which is pretty interesting. Hey, it's not just me. It's all the people that you're going to get by using me as well. And then kind of a standard piece talking about pricing and the importance of pricing it right out of the gate. So that's just an example of what Lisa's done in RPR that I think just gives you guys some sort of idea as to what can be done. There was one other one I just want to show you quickly. This is from a company called Watson in Florida. Really nice house. Kurt Marksberry. Kurt's is a little bit more, basic, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. Still looks good. An about me piece has some quotes in here about testimonials, and then Kurt puts this piece in here about websites. Not 100% sure what that might be, but nonetheless, he finds value, and I'm sure it works for him. But then he puts a piece in here about Watson, about his company. Shows all of the offices that they have and the fact that they might be able to deliver buyers into his area because they'll be interacting with colleagues all around the state. So I thought that was kind of an interesting piece. And then lastly, he's got an incentive in here that he puts in. Buy our list with me and get a free 1-year home warranty from American Home Shield. So again, just some different ideas that I wanted to share with you guys in terms of how agents are better personalizing RPR and uploading some of their stuff into our platform.
Hey, thanks for going through that. That was very helpful. So tell us a little bit about the mobile app and how they would get that set up.
Well, I think everybody knows these days that the mobile app is where it's at, right? I mean, everything is going mobile right now, and essentially, we've had to come out with our mobile app as well. We've had one out for a long time. Some of the features we like to highlight about our mobile app is just the open house content, how easy it is to find and use. You can run a mobile, what we call a mobile CMA or a CMA Express right off of our mobile device. So if you wanted to do a CMA version light real quick, you have the ability to do that off the RPR mobile app. Don't have to worry about texting everything. You use a voice and text feature, which is pretty cool. You can get notifications on any saved properties. So anytime there's a status change or a price change, you'll get notified. I think the really cool feature of our app is this thing called an accelerometer, where it knows it uses your GPS system and knows exactly where you are, whether you're standing or in your car, whatever neighborhood you're in, and then it draws a radius around where you are. And so if you're driving through a neighborhood, for example, it tells you how many properties are for sale, what recently sold, what's distressed, what recently closed. And then as you're moving through the neighborhood, those numbers change real time as properties come into your radius while other ones exit as well. So kind of a pretty cool app. Here's what it looks like if you were to download it. If I were in Gilbert, Arizona with a 1 mile radius, again, I get the data as to what's available to me. And if I went into the app, I can then find a home, select it, and now I can go into the property record that RPR has built. By the way, this property record you see on the mobile app matches the property record on the desktop version as well. So you're going to see a very consistent format, very consistent content. And as you slide down through here, you'll get the mortgage information, you'll get the taxes, you'll get the features, you'll get the photos, the HOA information, the school data,
the taxes,
the public record data. Everything is basically
built Tom,
into the record. Yes.
So Tom, this is only for realtors, this app.
This is only for realtors, exactly. So
this is designed. Is this sort of like, because our MLSs are usually seemingly they're still in 1997. Is this sort of like in lieu of MLSs creating a nice app for us that NAR is sort of poured into this because this is a better solution to this like realtor specific platform? I mean, it's a nice app. I'm just kind of like, I don't really know anyone who uses it right now.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a fair assessment. We had gotten requests from agents all around the country to have the mobile app as well, and clearly we had to have that if we wanted to be competitive. And sometimes, we do compete with MLSs for the app that they offer as well. I just tell people this: find an app that you really like, whether it's through the MLS, whether it's through RPR, whether it's through someone else. Just find something that you really like, get comfortable with it, use it. Use the features from it. Produce the reports. Get the that's the most important thing is getting the information to your clients.
It's interesting. It's interesting, Tom. A lot of realtors, I hate to say it, will just have the Zillow app on their phone because it's so easy. Mm-hmm. So this is actually an interesting alternative if someone doesn't want to use the Zillow app to have very similar data. Do you have like walkability ratings on here? You show taxes on here, these types of things.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I were to scroll through this property record, you'd get 15 screens behind what I'm showing you right now with all that information that we kind of line up right behind each other. And then what we do from there is we give the agents the ability to produce reports. So again, having the data is one thing, but being able to use it to do something of value for a client is another. So running a report from our app is so simple. It's 3 steps. Step 1, pick a report. Which one do you want? Step 2, how much content do you want? Do you want to turn off some sections? Do you want everything? Step 3, do you want to download it or email it? I mean, that's how simple it is.
I stand corrected. Realtors are commenting saying some of them are using the app. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
How often do the properties get updated on here? Is it like real time, 45 minutes, 20 minutes?
Great question. Oh, always good questions about updating data. How current is it? And it depends upon the source. So for example, MLS data, we update multiple times throughout the day. Okay. So we're getting multiple feeds from 500 and something MLSs all around the country. If it's mortgage data, we'll get that updated every 30 days. Tax data updated every 30 days. Public record data gets updated every 90 days. So it just depends upon, school data gets updated every 90 days. So it just depends upon the source. As soon as they update it, then we get the updates and we immediately feed it into the platform.
Cool. So thank you.
This is example of what a report would look like. And as I scroll down here, we get our map, we get our mapping features, we get the home facts about the property, we get the extended home facts, some of the interior features, exterior features, HOA information, and that can go on and on and on. So this is just a quick example of what that might look like if you downloaded whatever reports onto your phone.
I have a feeling that you're going to get some downloads because of that. So another quick curveball question, because I like to throw curveballs. So What about if I wanted to use this app? Are you guys, maybe you don't, maybe you do know the answer to this, but will you guys be integrating with something like showing time so I can just move them straight to my showing cart from this app? If I wanted to, like, if I was using the app to look up houses for my clients, can I move it straight from there into my showing time cart?
I don't know if we could do that yet, but I do know that there is a relationship with Showing Time, and we're always looking for kind of new vendors that we can partner with as well. So cool. we will be pouring more time and effort into creating more features for this app.
That would be a really sweet feature for realtors if I could just have it sync straight to my Showing Time cart, and then I could just log over there. So anyways, just maybe send your developers a quick message.
Gotcha.
Let me get on that for Paul Carlson right away. So, hey, we're coming, I think, near the end here. And the one thing I wanted to say is tell us 3 important things about RPR that we probably or maybe don't know right now.
Well, I'd say if there were 3 things that I would that you may not know about. Number 1 is we have a tremendous help desk. If you are ever in need of any help with RPR, I can't find something, I'm lost, I'm here, I need to get back there. How do I run this report? How would I personalize that? How do I grab this piece of information? How do I search? Whatever it might be, reach out to our customer service hotline. The phone number is splattered all over the RPR platform. They're based in Omaha, Nebraska. They're open 24/7, 365 days a year. They do a tremendous job at helping realtors all across the country. So much so that NAR said, we're going to actually outsource the NAR help desk and we're going to put it in with yours as well. That's how good this thing runs. So if you need any help whatsoever, use our help desk. They do a really, really nice job. Number 2, I think that one of the best hidden features about RPR is something that's not even in RPR, and it's called our blog. And in essence, in order to get to our blog, all you need to do is type in blog.narrpr.com. There are so many educational, training, learning opportunities that are available to realtors all across the country. Here's the blog, the very top of the page. If you click on this heading called Learning, and what happens if I blow it up a little bit is you're going to get live webinars that you can sign up for right now. And now you might say, well, Tom, I can't wait 2 weeks for a live webinar. Fine, then go to the Watch Now webinars. You can pull those up right on your desktop, watch them, stop them, watch them again, pause, whatever you might want to do. Tutorials, ebooks, quick start guides, any kind of educational piece you need some help with, know that we have a blog. And again, here is the address, blog.narrpr.com. So unfortunately, I think that's one of the pieces that a lot of people don't necessarily know about RPR. And then lastly, I think that the last piece I'll share with you, and this is some information that you guys are getting before a lot of other people are getting, but we are starting to let it leak out right now. Next year, we will have a fresh new look to RPR.
Nice.
And it's been 10 years since we've had this platform, and it's time to freshen it up. So we're going to make the tools much easier to find. We're going to make the search function much easier to use as well. We're going to take shortcuts like a CMA rather than having to put a property in and click a couple buttons to find our CMA. It's going to be right there on the very first page. We're going to let you customize the page if you want to bring certain shortcuts in and put other ones out because you don't use them. We're going to give you the opportunity to kind of customize the page as well. So bottom line, look for that new refresh. I'm going to say, now this date could shift, so don't hold me to this because it shifted a couple of times already.
We know how that goes.
Yeah. But right now we're targeting late first quarter.
Okay.
So look for that. Maybe let's just say around the March, maybe late February, March timeframe. It might slip, but that's what we're looking for right now. So
my applause to you for doing that, because you know that the ease of use, the user experience, the agent experience, the functionality, the approachability of the app, that all matters to the agents. And, we're used to using really slick apps. So it'd be nice that this one matches, and that's cool. I'm excited about that update.
Yeah. And the cool thing about that, Paul, is that we didn't design this on our own. We've held focus groups. We've held Zoom sessions. We've met with people at conferences and conventions when we were able to. We started this, believe it or not, over a year ago, because I was
Yeah.
part of a group that sat in on listening to some of the feedback in 2019. So this has been an extensive project in terms of trying to reach out and gather as much information as we can. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
I got a chance to play around in the dev environment this week, actually, for the first time. And all I can say, I think it's pretty cool. I think you guys are going to like it.
Awesome. No, I'm pumped about that.
So Tom, I am just sitting here right now, and I'm excited that we've been able to bring this to the agent community at 5 Star Real Estate. I just think there's so much here for the agents to explore. I think that it can simplify. I think it can give them that expert status. I think it makes them all more knowledgeable about their industry. I think this is the type of thing that improves us as a whole. And I hope that we have been able to meet a few agents today where they're at in a way that they would be open to looking at this. I know that they're bombarded. I know that as a broker, I am bombarded daily by vendors who tell me about the latest, greatest, next best thing that they've got that's going to change our world. And you and I both know there's been about 3 or 4 things that have changed our world, from the cell phone to Zillow to
Showing time to dot loop.
Electronic signatures. That was massive. Agents are saving hundreds, thousands of hours every year right now because of electronic signatures. When I think back to where I was years ago, when I started, and what the agents have available to them today, it's amazing. So I think this is tremendous. I'm so glad that we were able to bring this to the agent community today. I'm glad that you were able to take the time out. And I hope that you get a little bit more time to work on that golf game and maybe become a +3 in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Tom. I also want to echo what Greg just said and say thank you for all that. Thank you for walking through this. There's things in here that I wasn't aware of. I like how practical the app is. I like that it brings practicality to the world. I think agents are so used to being sold this pie in the sky, how everything's going to change. Your world's going to change because of these smart technologies. We interviewed a guy 2 weeks ago, and he has a technology marketplace with 950 real estate specific technology applications available. It's mind blowing to try to figure out how to sift through this. So to find something like this that is simple, practical, can bring some help, it's cool. So thank you, Tom, for your time.
That's great. Last thought I'll leave with you and your group is this. So last month, I had a chance to participate and sit in on NAR's first annual virtual conference, right? And one of the speakers at that event was our chief economist, Dr. Lawrence Yoon. And he gave his annual report of the state of the industry, which is always really good. But near the end of the report, there were 2 things that I captured that I thought was excellent, and I wanted to share kind of as a final thought as we conclude today. And so here are the 2 screenshots I took, and I'm sorry to Lawrence for the facial expressions here, but I couldn't control those. But here's what I want to share with the group. Number 1, look at this information. The economic forecast right now for 2021, GDP is going to go from a -5% this year to a +4%. We're going to lose 7 million jobs this year in his estimate. We're going to gain almost half of those back next year. The 10-year treasury bills, which mortgage rates are based off of, are going to remain in that same level. Inflation is going to stay same as well. And from a housing market perspective, look at what he's forecasting. Mortgage rates are going to stay historically low. New home sales are going to be up 20% this year and 23% next year. Wow. Existing home sales, even through the pandemic, we're going to eke out a modest gain this year. And look at next year. He's forecasting a 9% jump, although home prices might rise at a little slower pace. So my message is simply this. It's a great time to be a realtor. It's a great time to be in this industry. 2021 looks really promising and exciting. And I just hope that RPR continues to play a significant role in your success as you guys get ready for 2021. So with that, I want to thank you guys for your time. Thank everyone for your attention. Really, really, really do appreciate the opportunity, and best wishes for a great holiday season.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Thanks a bunch, Tom. Yep. See you guys. See you 5 Star. We'll talk to you guys later.